Welcome back. Thom Hartmann here with you in the science revolution. Haven Coleman is on the line with us, the co-founder and co-executive director of U.S. Youth Climate Strike. ClimatePower2020.org is the website. And Haven Ruthie, Havenruthie, is Haven's Twitter handle. A 12-year-old climate activist. Haven, welcome to the program. Tell us about yourself.
Hi. I don't know if I'm unmuted, but I'm here.
You are. Hey,
can you hear me?
Thank you for joining us.
I'm actually 14.
Okay.
That was like a year, like a while ago. But I'm 14 now.
All good. So what are you up to? I understand that you're working. In fact, I read this article about all the various things that you've been doing, including leading climate strikes and things like that. What brought you into climate activism, and where are you focusing your efforts right now?
So I started climate activism when I was 10. I realized that my favorite animal, the sloth, was going endangered because of deforestation, and I wanted to stop that. But while researching about deforestation, I found how it correlated to climate change, and then I was like, oh my gosh, this is worse. And so I was just like, I gotta fix this. I did the Climate Reality Project with Al Gore since it came to Colorado that year. I got educated. I started doing presentations across the country to youth my age to educate them about climate change. Then I started doing rallies, speaking at marches, doing things. I kept getting bigger and bigger. Then like a year ago, the climate strike started, and then more like two, but whatever. But the climate strike started, and with Greta Thunberg, and I was like, I want to do something in the U.S. So I founded U.S. Climate Strike. I was in connection with FFF the whole time. We made sure, and we were able to, I think, for the second united climate strike, we got 500,000 youth striking. Then I continued to strike after I left U.S. Youth Climate Strike. I striked for a full year every Friday at the Capitol, or in Kansas, or in Utah, or I think once in New York. Right now I'm working on trying to get filters to people in Colorado because of the air and water is really bad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had the wildfires here in Oregon a while ago, and for a whole week we couldn't go outside. Yeah. It was not good. And this is all climate change. I mean, it's like the chickens coming home to roost. Mm-hmm. We're talking with Haven Coleman, the 14-year-old climate activist at ClimatePower2020.org, the website, co-executive director and co-founder of U.S. Youth Climate Strike. It seems to me, Haven, that young people are, for fairly obvious reasons, very, very concerned about the future of the climate. Given how rapidly our environment is changing and the extraordinary consequences that could have on civilization, on life, on species, on everything else. And also that maybe some of the 60s activists, the boomer generation, your grandparents' generation, I would say probably, are fairly active. Are you finding ways to activate people in the middle, the people who are 20 to 50? Or is that not even a focus of your attention? Are you trying to focus on young people?
What my focus is when I'm doing my activism is anybody who'd listen. Usually I find people who are in their young adults or teenagers who are most open to listening, but also there are people in the middle. There's people that are older that do want to listen. If people are willing to engage, I'll talk to them. But it's the people that are just blatantly saying that I'm wrong and that I should listen to them while they're yelling at me how I'm wrong, that I'm not going to waste my breath doing that, because we don't have that much time. We have 5 years till we can't stop the irreversible effect, the worst part of climate change, because climate change is already happening. We're seeing the effects of it right now. Just what people need to realize is we're not trying to stop climate change altogether, but the worst effects, because it's going to get worse, and we're not yet going to be able to adapt to it fast enough. And so anybody who's willing to listen, anybody who wants to engage and learn more on how to fix their actions and how to promote well-being of our planet, I will be talking to them, which is a wide range of people.
Yeah, absolutely, including Cory Gardner. One of the things that really, one of the more high-profile things you've been involved with was giving a speech at a town hall that was being hosted by Cory Gardner, the Republican Colorado senator who has received over $1 million in campaign funding from the oil and gas industries. And you gave an impassioned speech that just, brought some of the people in the audience to tears. Has Senator Gardner responded? Did he get the message?
So at that time, I was actually crying myself because he blatantly, and people who were who were giving the people who would ask, giving them the microphone, they kept ignoring me. So I was so frustrated that they wouldn't listen to the only youth in the audience, because it's my generation's future that's on it, and he's one of the civil servants that are supposed to serve us, but he's not doing it. I have not heard anything back from him. He originally ran saying that he would help the climate crisis and be against oil and gas, and him getting $1 million in funding from the oil and gas and supporting it has just been ridiculous. And the Colorado is trying to kick him out of Senate, especially this election. And even though Hickenlooper, who is the other person running against, who used to be the former governor, he's not the best, and he does have issues, but he's better than Cory, who's done nothing and sit in office for years and years on end, just lying to us, and it's just ridiculous. So no, I have not gotten an answer from him.
Yeah, it's interesting and unfortunate. How speaking to those people who may be teenagers or younger who are listening to this program, or to people who have young people in their families or as friends that they would want to share this information with, how does a young person begin the process? What's the entry point? Is there obviously you've started this group. Tell us about that. We have about a minute and a half here before we're going to have to hit a break. How do people find you? How do people get involved in what you're doing? And what can young people do in their own local communities, particularly given the fact that a lot of schools aren't even meeting right now?
Well, what young people can do right now is, since we're having a pause because activism has been mostly physical actions, is I would suggest going to different groups right now that are in your community, like Sunrise, 350, Sierra Club, or POC and indigenous grassroots groups. If you have money, donate it. If you want to, you can reach out to them, ask what you could be doing as a young person, saying, hey, I like your initiative, I'd love to help. And they'll give you things. They'll use your passions, your creativity, and they'll use it. You could use your artistic expression to help spread the word about climate change. And if you're younger and not allowed to vote like I am, talk to the people who are allowed to vote, because people can vote on behalf, use your ideas to influence their vote, because your voice is practically a vote, because you're convincing your parents, your friends, the community around you on why it is important to vote for candidates that will be supporting climate change, that the candidate that's actually wanting to put out policies to fight climate change.
Yeah, and sadly, I don't think this gets enough attention, that climate change, the future of this, the fate and future of our planet is on the ballot this year. And frankly, every 2 years. Haven Coleman, co-founder and co-executive director of the U.S. Youth Climate Strike, climatepower2020.org. Haven Ruthie is the Twitter handle. Haven, thanks so much for dropping by. Great talking with you. Nice meeting you.